Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist and I'm going to be doing a Gate Guardian deck profile. So I'm really excited to do this for you guys because Gate Guardian finally has its own archetype thanks to Maze of Memories, and it's amazing. So without further ado guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there so you can become part of Notification Squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below for all those awesome rewards, like getting your name description every single video, getting assigned cards in the mail, and even getting to request a deck profile every single month you're a patron. So without further ado, let's get straight on into this. So first off, we're going to be playing 2 copies of Sangha of the Thunder. I feel like 2 copies is perfect for this card in the deck. You don't want to clog with too many of the pieces, and I feel like 2 copies of Sangha is perfect. We then play 2 copies of Kazijin. Kazijin is also a great 2 of in this deck, so we can go in for all of our amazing Gate Guardian fusion monsters, but it also works extremely well with a tech card that I'm playing in this deck. We're then playing 2 copies of Suijin. Suijin is also a great 2 of. I feel like playing 2 of each of the pieces in the deck makes it super easy to go in for your Gate Guardian fusion monsters, and plus it's just super cool to play 2, 2, and 2. We then play 3 copies of Labyrinth Heavy Tank. This is an awesome new card that we got out of Maze of Memories, and it's a really good normal summon in this deck because you can normal summon this card without tributing, and it cannot attack the turn it is normal summon. And during your main phase, you can place one Sangha, Kazijin, or Suijin that's banished or in your hand or deck face up in your spell and trap card zone as a continuous spell. Then if you control a Labyrinth Wall card, you can destroy 1 monster that your opponent controls, which is a really good effect to be able to use to get your pieces on your side of the field so you can make Gate Guardian combined. We then play 3 copies of Shadow Ghoul of the Labyrinth. This card is awesome in the deck because it searches our new field spell, and it's a really cool 3-up, but you can discard this card to add a Labyrinth Wall from your deck to your hand. And at the start of your damage step, if your opponent's monster battles while you control a Labyrinth Wall card, you can banish this card from your graveyard and destroy that opponent's monster, which is a great effect to be able to use to just deal with your opponent's cards. And this card is really good because it does search our new field spell, which will also place our pieces on our side of the field. We then play 2 copies of Elemental Hero Prisma. This card is a really good 2 of in the deck because it can basically turn into one of your Gate Guardian pieces, because once per turn you can reveal a fusion monster from your extract, which is always going to be your copy of Gate Guardian combined, to send one of the fusion materials whose name is listed on it specifically from the deck to the graveyard, and this card's name becomes the sent monster's name until the end of the turn, which is a great effect to be able to send your copies of your Sangha, Kazijin, or Suijin directly from your deck to the graveyard to essentially put them on the field and also get 1 in the grave. This card is a definite 2 in the deck, and the reason I'm playing 2 instead of 3 is because we can get it out on our side of the field with a Hero Lives. We then play 3 copies of Magician Souls. Magician Souls is a definite 3 of the deck because it helps you draw into the deck to be able to get the exact cards that you need. It also works extremely well with your copy of Kazijin because Kazijin is a spellcaster, so this card is almost like a Foolish Burial for Kazijin, and has a great effect that you can send up to 2 spells and traps from your hand or your field to the graveyard to draw that many cards, and if this card is in your hand, you can send a level 6 or higher spellcaster monster from your deck to the graveyard to activate this effect to be able to special summon this card to your side of the field, which is just a really good effect to be able to use in this deck to instantly get Kazijin in the graveyard while also getting to essentially draw 2 cards and get a monster on the field. We then play a single copy of Illusion of Chaos. I didn't want to clog with 2 copies of Illusion of Chaos in this build, and in playtesting I feel like 1 is totally fine to play with your 2 copies of Preparation of Rites that you'll be seeing later in the list, and this card is just really good because it does search out your copy of Magician Souls extremely easily by just revealing this card in your hand, and it's really good as a 1 of in this build because you can put this card back on the top of the deck, which is really cool because it has the ability to reveal this card in your hand to add a Dark Magician or a non-ritual monster that mentions it from your deck to your hand, then place 1 card from your hand on top of your deck, which is always going to be Illusion of Chaos that you're usually putting on top of the deck for the search of your Magician Souls. We then play 3 copies of Nibiru. Since this is an OTK deck, usually I like to play Nibiru in this deck to be able to just deal with my opponent's field and then make Gate Guardian combine, and you have a bunch of ways to be able to deal with the Nibiru token that you're going to be giving the opponent, so this card is really good as a 3 of, especially with Kashtira running around, and this being one of the best hand traps in the format. So that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we're going to be playing a single copy of Terraforming. Terraforming is an extremely good one of the deck that's going to instantly get us to our field spell, so this card is a definite one of in the build. We're then playing 2 copies of Preparation of Rites. This is a good 2 of in the deck to be able to search out our copy of our Illusion of Chaos, which in turn will search out our copy of Magician's Soul. So this is essentially the searcher for the searcher. We then play 2 copies of Sacred Sword of 7 stars. Sacred Sword of 7 stars is really good because we play so many level 7s in this deck. It lets us banish a level 7 monster from our hand or face up from the field to be able to draw 2 cards, which is a great effect to just help us dig into the deck to be able to get more pieces so we can make more Gate Guardian fusions. We then play a single copy of Ryoku Guardian. This card is the OTK piece. I feel like 1 is totally fine. We have plenty of ways to be able to search it in the deck, and it's crazy powerful. You're only ever going to activate this card 1 time per duel, because when you do activate it, where you have Gate Guardian combined on the field, you usually win the game. It has the ability, if your life points are lower than your opponent's, you get to target 1 monster that you control with Gate Guardian in its original name and half your opponent's life points. Then that monster gains attack equal to your opponent's life points, which is crazy powerful because your opponent's at a perfect 8,000 and we activate a Hero Lives, we're going to have less life points than the opponent does. Then you activate this card when you have Gate Guardian combined on the field to boost Gate Guardian combined to 7,750 to then OTK the opponent. This card also has a great graveyard effect that you can banish this card from the graveyard to be able to add one of your Sanga, Kajin, or Sujin that's banished or in your deck to your hand, which is a pretty good effect. We then play 3 copies of Double Attack, Wind, and Thunder. This card is really good in the deck. It's super simple, but it's a great card to be able to play as a 3-of, that if you control a Gate Guardian monster, you can target 1 card on the field and destroy it, which is a great effect. And then during your main phase, you can banish this card from your graveyard and then add one of your Sanga, Kajin, or Sujin that's banished or in your deck to your hand, and you can only use this effect of this card once per turn, but it is a quick play, so if you go first, you can make one of your Gate Guardian fusion monsters, set this card to the field, and have it as an interruption for the opponent, or even out the Nibiru token with this card, which is really good. We then play 3 copies of Labyrinth Wall Shadow, our new field spell. This card is a definite 3-of in the deck. It is an extremely powerful card. I love this card, and it's super good in the deck, because monsters cannot attack the turn they are summoned, except monsters whose original level is 5 or higher, which is all we're summoning in the deck anyways. And once per turn, during your main phase, you can place one of your Sanga, Kajin, or Sujin that's banished or in your hand or deck face up in your spell and trap card zone as a continuous spell. And at the start of your opponent's battle phase, you can target 1 monster that your opponent controls with less than 1600 attack and destroy it, which is a really crazy effect. The awesome thing is this card is only a once per copy effect. So if you have multiple copies of this card in your hand, you can activate 1, use the effect to put one of your pieces on your field, and then activate another one on top of it to be able to get an additional piece, which is really awesome. I love that about this card. It makes it super easy to get your Gate Guardian pieces in the spell and trap card zone so you can make Gate Guardian combine. We then play 3 copies of Fusion Deployment. This card is basically E-Telly for the deck, which is insane, because all you do is reveal your Gate Guardian combined in your extra deck, and then you get to special summon out one of the pieces from the deck, which is just absolutely crazy how easy it is to be able to put them on the field in this deck. We then play 3 copies of A Hero Lives. A Hero Lives is great as a 3-of, because if you control no face-up monsters, you can pay half your life points, and then special summon out 1 level 4 lower elemental hero monster from your deck, which is always Elemental Hero Prisma, which is super good to be able to put Prisma on the field, because it will turn into one of your pieces and dump one of them to the graveyard, which is great in this deck, because you want to get them in the graveyard as quickly as possible or on the field so you can make your Gate Guardian fusions. So that's it for the spells, guys. Let's get into the traps. So for the traps, we're just going to be playing a single trap, and that's going to be a single copy of Prey of Jirai Gumo. This is a really good 1-of in the deck. I don't feel like you need any more than 1. You could play 2, but with the deck being as tight as it is, I feel like 1 is just fine. This card is a trap monster, and I love that they made this card a trap monster because it's based on a trapdoor spider, if you didn't know, but it's super cool because it lets you special summon this card as a normal monster that's an insect, earth, a level 5, 2100 attack, attack and 100 defense to your main monster zone in its same column that it was set. And this card is also treated as a trap. Then you can destroy one monster that your opponent controls in the same card's column, which is great to be able to do because it basically activates like a trap to be able to destroy the opponent's monster, just like it did in the anime. And you can banish this card from your graveyard to be able to add a Sanga, Kajin, or Sujin that's banished or in your deck to your hand, which is great to be able to search them directly from the deck. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we're going to be playing 3 copies of the new Gate Guardian Combine. This card is super easy to summon, and I'm so excited that we have a new Gate Guardian. This card is so cool because it takes a Kajin, a Sanga, and a Sujin to summon this card to your side of the field, and it must be special summoned from your extra by banishing the above cards from your hand, field, and or grave. So they can basically be anywhere except in the deck or already banished to be able to summon out this card, making it super easy to summon. And when your opponent activates a card or effect that targets a cards that you control, quick effect, you can negate the effect, and if you do, destroy that card. And you can only use the effect of this card thrice per turn. That is absolutely crazy that this is a thrice per turn effect that you can just constantly be negating cards that are targeting and destroy it, which is just super cool. And if this face-up special summon card in its owner's control leaves the field because of an opponent's card, then you can special summon out one level 11 or lower Gate Guardian monster from your deck or extra, ignoring its summoning conditions, which you're always going to summon out one of your other Gate Guardian fusion monsters because they have some absolutely crazy effects. We then play 2 copies of Gate Guardian of Wind and Water. This card is super cool because it is a twice per turn spell and trap negate, which is really cool. And it must be special summoned from your extra by banishing the above cards that you control. And once per chain, when your opponent activates a spell or trap card or an effect on the field, quick effect, you can negate that effect, and you can only use the effect of this card twice per turn. And if this special summon card leaves the field because of an opponent's card, then you can special summon out one of your banished Kajin or Sujin, which is really awesome to be able to just instantly get them back on the field. We then play a single copy of Gate Guardian of Thunder and Wind. This card is a good one of the deck because this does search out our spells and traps that mention Gate Guardian, which is really cool, or Sanga, Kajin, and Sujin, which is really good to be able to just instantly search out those cards directly from your deck to your hand so you can get a little bit more consistency in the deck. We then play a single copy of Gate Guardian of Water and Thunder. This is a good one of in the deck, but I only feel like you need a single copy of this card, and it has a great effect that it must be special summoned from your extract by banishing the above cards that you control, and once per chain, quick effect, you can target one face-up monster that your opponent controls and change its attack to 0 until the end of the turn, making it super easy to be able to OTK your opponent. We then play a single copy of Dark Armed, the Dragon of Annihilation. You guys know with a rank 7 deck, I had to include Dark Armed somewhere in it, and this card is just really good at spot removing cards off the field. We then play a single copy of Double A Zeus. Double A Zeus is just really good because we do play the Dark Armed to be able to board wipe. We then play a single copy of Access Code. Access Code is a great card to be able to play in this particular deck because it's super good at popping multiple cards on the field, and it's an absolutely crazy powerful boss monster. We then play a single copy of Nightmare Unicorn to spin stuff. This is just a really good card in the deck overall to be able to just basically spin cards off the field. We then play a single copy of Selene because we play a bunch of different spellcasters in this deck, and this card is really good in this particular build to be able to bring back cards like Kajin back to your side of the field, and it's just super good in the deck. For every spell that's on the field or in the graveyards, you basically get to activate the ability to put a counter on this card, and then you can pull 3 counters off this card to be able to bring back a spellcaster to your side of the field in defense position, and Kajin is a spellcaster, which is super good for this deck. I really like this card in this particular build. We then play a single copy of the Dark Charmer. The Dark Charmer is really good in this particular build because it does take a spellcaster to make Selene, and if your opponent has anything that's dark in the graveyard, you can basically bring it back to your side of the field and link it away with your copy of your Dark Charmer to be able to make Selene, which is really nice, and then climb into Access Code extremely easily. We then play a single copy of IP. IP is just to make Unicorn, which is just really good in this deck to be able to make Unicorn Unicorn during the opponent's turn to be able to spin a card. And then finally, Linkuriboh, because we do play Magician's Souls in the deck, to be able to make Linkuriboh to protect our Gate Guardian combined, just in case our opponent makes something a little bit more powerful than it. So that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you did enjoy it. I am so excited that they finally made a Gate Guardian archetype. Quick shout out to Konami, who actually really did this right. I really feel like they did a great job with this one, and it's just super cool to be able to make a Gate Guardian deck. I've been waiting so long for this, and it was worth the wait. So anyways, guys, this is DarkArmedDuelist. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell in there so you can become part of the notification squad, and we'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.